Today on the official Marvel podcast, we will hear from writer Phillip Kennedy Johnson and artist Nic Klein on their newest comic series, Infernal Hulk.
This is not a reboot or relaunch. This is always meant to be like the next chapter. And this is the big change that we've been looking forward to for a long time.
Plus, Funko Director of Creative Development Gary Ham and Senior Product Developer Hung Chu dive into the company's relationship with Marvel.
Our team of creatives is made up of passionate Marvel fans in addition to gamers. And when they learned that we were going to be developing some Marvel Rivals product, like excitement through the roof.
Then we've got your Marvel gift guide for the holiday season.
I'm Victoria Yang.
I'm Langston Belton.
And this is the official Marvel podcast.
Hulk smash!
Am I sensing that you're excited about something or angry?
Yes, very excited. Yes. No, that was a good Hulk smash. I'm very excited because Infernal Hulk is coming to your local comic book shops next week on November 26th, in fact. And I got to speak with Phillip Kennedy Johnson and Nic Klein all about it. Let's take a listen. To start, for the Marvel fandom, please introduce yourselves and tell us what your role is with the Incredible Hulk currently at Marvel.
I'm Phillip Kennedy Johnson. I'm the writer of Infernal Hulk. I've been at Marvel for a few years now, and Hulk has been an amazingly good time. Super excited for everyone to see what we're doing here.
I'm Nic Klein, and I'm the artist of Incredible Hulk and Infernal Hulk. And before that, I did a stint on Thor and Deadpool, and I'm just really excited about this book.
Awesome. Before we get into the current affairs with your work at Marvel, what is your origin story with the Marvel fandom?
My dad brought back comics for me to read when I was really little. And he used to always boast that he learned how to read. Like, he taught himself to read from comic books when he was a little kid. And so he wanted me to read the same way. And so he would bring back armfuls of old ripped up books. I had a lot of issues of Marvel Team Up that was primarily just Spider-Man teaming up with various other A-lister, B-lister, C-lister characters. And that's where I discovered most of what I know about Marvel.
One of the distinct memories I have was the first issue of Night Thrasher, which had a great Mark Bagley cover, jumping out at the reader. And after that, it was kind of like the McFarlane Spider-Man. I've always been an art guy, even as a kid. So back in the 90s, it was Jim Lee and McFarlane who were like the big guys for me. Extinction Agenda was like an X crossover event, which really kind of hooked me. It's hooked me ever since, the whole genre and the whole medium as well.
So let's talk a little bit about your work on the Hulk, because you've both been working on the Hulk for a few years now. What is it like to turn the corner with this new chapter with the Hulk? And also, what is it like, this journey with the Hulk from where you've started until now?
When I came out of the book, I had to go back and just kind of revisit a lot of old stuff that I remembered reading a long time prior. The genius of the Hulk concept is that any little kid can get it. But you can also do these deep dives into the character and just the concept of the character and find really meaningful analogies and metaphors and, meaningful stories that can be very complex and emotionally relevant. But you can also use it to tell a story that deeply matters about rage, about abuse, about addiction, about almost whatever you need. To me, that is the great success of the Hulk idea. So I had to kind of sit with it. After there'd been so many amazing, successful runs of this story in the past, I was like, what do I do that's not just more of that? So I want to just do more Immortal Hulk. I love that book. I was like, what could I do here that's not just more of that? And knowing that Nic was going to be the artist and the work of his that I love, I just kind of sat with Nic's art and figuring out what I would do. And I kind of found myself gravitating more towards like folk horror, mythological horror, and just a new kind of take on the whole monster concept. And just tell a story about what it means to be a monster that, Nic is really bringing home with his art.
For me, it's actually more the kid side of the whole thing, the rage monster. I just like drawing monsters. And when Will asked if I wanted to draw the Hulk with Phillip, and he told me what direction it was going, it was like, say less, I'm already on board. I just love the crazy monster side of the Hulk. I think it's probably apparent in the art as well. That's the stuff that excites me most. At the end of the day, I think everybody just wants to also see the Hulk kick ass.
It's true.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Nick and I kind of have this shorthand now. I mean, I still put a lot of detail in scripts, but he understands that it's all just me telling him a story so that he can tell a story. He knows better than me what will fit on the page and what the sequence should be and all that. So I give him a ton of ideas and he uses the stuff that he likes. But maybe more than any other artist I've ever worked with, Nick really loves like single page, like splash pages. But whenever there's a transformation, we try to use that spread as it's almost still a splash. Even though there are different panels, like that sequence is like the singular image, at least in my mind. I love the way Nick does those transformations.
Let's talk about this collab. Let's just talk about Infernal Hulk. So the story picks up after the events of Incredible Hulk issue number 30. For the uninitiated, can you catch us up on where Bruce Banner's been up until now? Where have we been? Where are we at? Where are we headed with Infernal Hulk?
So knowing that there's some spoilers already out there, I'll just say that Incredible Hulk up to this point has been Act 1. The Incredible Hulk issues 1 through 30 has just put all these pieces on the board. We introduce the big bad of the series named Eldest in the very first issue, who is the seed of corruption that's been on Earth since Earth began. The one thing that the one above all did not create. And for those who don't know, the one above all is like God of the Marvel Universe. The one thing that the one above all did not create is this seed of corruption that it basically creates all monstrous, profane life on Earth, anything that was not intended. So from then on, that first issue kind of made Hulk into this lightning rod for monsters all over the world to find and to try to take down and punish. And it gave us this really great setup for Hulk to just kind of travel like he does sometimes, like he's kind of the man on the run, Banner is, and we see all these monsters. As a line that we see in that first issue is monsters tend to find each other. So we see Hulk finding these monsters and them finding him. We get cameos from beloved characters from the Marvel Universe, but we also introduce a lot of new creatures into the Marvel bestiary. Many of them are going to be very important in the story to come. And in issue 30, that kicks off this whole new status quo where everything changes. And now we're about to begin Act 2 with Infernal Hulk. After Infernal Hulk, there will be an Act 3 that's coming as well. And I don't want to spoil all the stuff that's coming, but just understand this is not a reboot or relaunch. This is always meant to be like the next chapter. And this is the big change that we've been looking forward to for a long time. Like all the crazy monstrous transformations that Nick has been drawing, it all kind of has been a teaser for what's now kicking off.
Nice. And so you're talking about these monsters finding each other. So, Nick, what is it like when you get this wonderful gift of these descriptions and this amazing, amazing story? What are some of the elements of these monsters that we can expect? What are some of the things that you are excited for fans to see from your work, creating all these, like Phillip said, new additions to the bestiary of the Marvel Universe?
I mean, the ones that we have created so far, I always feel giddy because I know that Phillip, writes them or creates them with me drawing it in the back of his head. And we talk back and forth a lot. And it's always fun because there's a time difference. Sometimes he'll send something in and by the time he gets up, I'll have like a sketch or something. He's like my number one audience because he's always the first guy to see this stuff. I always try to get his reaction or get him stoked for stuff when I send it to him. If he comes back with like, oh my God, this is great, then that kind of sets me off. There's kind of like a back and forth. And the monster, we try to make him, as crazy as possible, not being random. Like Phillip always has backstories for all these monsters, and I try to incorporate the things that he thinks of into like the visual design of them. And obviously, we want to have cool characters at the Hulk. That's what we did in the first 30 issues. And for the second part of our story, which is Infernal, it just takes everything to it just multiplies everything. It takes everything to another level.
Nice. One thing I want to talk about is, Nick, your Hulk towers over everyone. So speak a little bit more about the importance of the size of the Hulk. And Phillip, does that influence your writing and in your imagination when you realize like, oh, this Hulk has different dimensions than maybe the character has had in the past? Or now that we know this Hulk is of this size, we get to do this different kind of sequence or scene or tell a different kind of story. How does that kind of like dovetail into creating the rest of the story?
Well, for me, the Hulk is not just a green dude. For me, he's always been a monster. And I think that's Jack Kirby's initial take as well when he created the character. And I try to make him as monstrous in his stature as possible, like give him a smaller head than would be appropriate if he had like actual human proportions, and just his hands are huge and his musculature is way out there. And you don't want to meet this character in real life, especially if he's in a bad mood. He has to be towering. I mean, he's the Hulk. And there's been, like an evolution in the way I draw him as well. He started off monstrous, but he's gotten crazier over the last couple of years. Like I've been giving him more veins and stuff. Just like whenever I can add stuff that makes him cooler or horrific in my mind, I try to add that in.
For me, what did impact the way that I wrote him was his facial expressions and personality. He just has this kind of sullen, like, leave me alone kind of vibe in his face and his posture. He's just kind of annoyed all the time. And that's the way that I really like. It's like his whole personality is just like everything's stupid or bothersome or just frustrating or annoying. He just wants to be left alone. And that's mostly in the way, it isn't in Nic's body language for the character, but mostly in his face. That impacts how I write him mostly.
For those who haven't been reading Hulk comics, why is this a great time to jump on and start following the biggest green, the strongest there is, the Hulk, on this journey with Infernal Hulk, issue number 1?
I remember these crazy moments growing up in comics where everything suddenly changed really hardcore. Like the first time I saw the black suit for Spider-Man, this is one of those watershed moments where it's just like, I just can't believe what I'm looking at. Like how different Hulk looks. The things that he's doing are crazy. It's just one of those really exciting moments that everyone's going to remember when they picked up this issue. And also, like, I mean, story aside, it's the best looking art in any room. If you walk into the shop and pick up that issue, it's going to be like, I can't believe how good this is.
If you can take this issue and just take it for what it is and just read it and enjoy it, and you'll get a kick out of it. But if you like it, you might probably want to go back and read what came before. You'd probably be maybe enticed to go back.
Nice. Well, Phillip, Nic, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Of course, Thanks for having us on.
Thank you for having us.
Langston, what is your favorite Marvel Funko Pop?
If I'm being honest, Taskmaster, but there are many to choose from.
There really are. And one of my favorites is the Dancing Groot, which, if you didn't know, also has a holiday version called the Holiday Groot Funko Pop.
I did not know that. Thank you. I need to get that for my mom. She'll love to own that.
I got a chance to speak with the Director of Creative Development, Gary Ham, and Senior Product Developer Hung Chu about what's coming next from Funko. Take a listen. I'm joined by Funko's Director of Creative Development, Gary Ham, and Senior Product Developer Hung Chu. Thanks so much for chatting with us. Can you both introduce yourselves to our listeners and tell them what you do?
Sure thing. I am Gary Ham, and basically I oversee really anything that comes across our tables that's creative, from concept to design to sculpt, packaging, rendering, all that good stuff.
And I'm Hung Chu. I'm a senior PD for Funko for the past 2.5 years. I mainly work on Marvel, 20th Century Studios, ABC, and then new development projects. My main focus is just Marvel.
So how did each of you end up at Funko? Can you talk about your career paths?
Before joining Funko, I had a career in the feature animation industry. Then I went freelance for a while. Around 2004, I attended my very first San Diego Comic-Con, and that was when I realized that I love designer toys. That's where I discovered designer toys. I had been an avid toy collector prior to joining the San Diego Comic-Con, and I started designing my own independent toys on the side. And next thing I know, I'm exhibiting at San Diego Comic-Con. And I think it was around 2014, 15 or so, the VP of creative of Funko was a collector of my work. And so he would pop by the booth every once in a while, gobble up all my wares, and he would approach me like, are you interested in joining Funko? And after a few years, I was offered a position to join Funko as a creative director.
That's so cool. Hung, how about you?
I started off as a product coordinator for this company called Merch Source. And there I was just reviewing products, looking over SSC files, reviewing packaging, assisted with like data entry stuff. And then 2 years after that, I got promoted as a product developer. And that's when I worked on my own lines. Some of the stuff I worked on is like just a lot of random stuff, like inflatables, battery operated toys, kids toys. And then after that, I got a remote job doing product development for an online trivia company. And I got an email from Funko, from a recruiter. It's like, hey, do you want to work with Funko? I see like your resume looks pretty good. I was like, you know what, let's try it. So once I did all the interviews, they gave me an offer. It's like, yeah, I'll go from software back to physical product goods, and been happy ever since.
That's awesome. Gary, you have a twin brother who works at Funko. Can you talk about how you both ended up there?
My twin, we are identical twins. We pretty much shared every job our entire lives, from our first job as busboys to then waiters. We have been side by side our entire careers. And Greg actually is his name, and he joined Funko 3 or 4 years prior to me. So he sussed everything out, and he loved working at Funko. And so I'm like, yeah, I want to join as well. And so when I got the job offer, it was the Ham Bros back together again.
I remember one time Gary was like out of office for like a week, and then I come into the office and then I see him and I'm like, wait, I thought you were out of office, but it was actually Greg.
Yeah, my brother does work remotely. So when I go on vacation, I have him watch my dog. So he flies
Oh my
out here
God.
and then works in office during that period of time. And that time that Hung just described, we purposely did not tell the team that we were making the switch. And he fooled a lot of people that week.
That's pretty funny. So, Hung, what's the most enjoyable part about your job as a senior product developer?
One of them is like just being surrounded by pop culture, but like with individuals that love pop culture. As Funko, we do so many pop culture things from movies, comics, TV series, and just going to the office when you're doing your work, but also being able to talk to your colleagues about like, did you see the latest Fantastic Four movie? Yeah, just things like that where everyone is so passionate about the things they're working on, and it just makes work fun.
So why do you guys think that the Funko style pairs so well with Marvel characters?
I think with Marvel, it takes a category that everyone is super in love with. It's the large eyes. It just has this cute factor about it that you can't help but be drawn in by it. And I think that has a lot to do with just pop in general. It's all about that cute factor that it has.
Totally. Can you guys talk to us about the variety of Marvel offerings from Funko?
Well, first we have like the standard pops, which is just like the regular bobblehead. So there's the MCU tentpoles, which are like the movies, the big series, anything like that is embargoed. Those we work on. And we also work on the comic evergreen side of things. Those are like just the standard regular pops that bobble for the most part. And then we have the Marvel Studios Select program, which is basically like a set of huge comic covers. The line of comic covers is pretty cool. It's in an acrylic case, and we have the comic insert behind the character. So it'll be the character and then the front cover page of that comic, which is really, really cool. For the giant pops, so we have like a giant pop and then a mega giant pop. The first one is the pop mega. I think the last one I did was the Loki for Loki season 1. And then we have the extreme big ones, which are the statues. We've done statues for some like premieres. For example, we did Deadpool and Wolverine. We did 2 statues, one of Wolverine and one Deadpool. And it was displayed at the premiere, and there was like so much love to it. They're like, I think like 6 feet tall. It's so cool.
I would love to have a Funko that was taller than me. I'd feel very protected, very safe in his arms.
Yeah.
Take us through the process of designing a Marvel Funko figure.
There's a few steps before us. So once everything is signed off from merchandising and a product development side, we have the green light. And so a bunch of the time, sometimes like poses and characters and stuff are already like pre-vetted for us. So we basically have a very passionate and very knowledgeable crew on our team. There's a few individuals that are just almost working 100% in the Marvel category. And we assign these out to them and they dive in. We give them as much creative liberty to add whatever they want. And then we send it to the licensor. We start out with actually a 2D concept sketch, which is digitally drawn, usually in Photoshop or Illustrator or something like that. And then we color that up. We add our color callouts, which is basically using Pantone chips to basically be really specific for the factories as to what colors that we're going to be using on the product. We take those 2D designs and the color callouts and we send them off to the licensor to review the concepts, and they might come back with us a couple rounds back and forth for minor little changes. And once everything's all signed off on the 2D side, we go into the sculpting and then, go through that same process, a little bit of back and forth internally. Everyone reviews those sculpts. And then once it's in a good place internally, we send it off to Hung. Hung then takes those sculpts and gets approval from the Marvel side.
And then basically once we get like everything approved, we then send all these tech pack files to the factory. And that's when they start submitting the STL files. And then that's when they start submitting the prototypes. So then we will like review the prototype. Does it match what the sculptors have designed, the concept artists have designed? And once that is approved, we'll go into the paint stage where the factory would then paint it. And then they would have like color comparisons with the Pantone chips just to make sure it's correct. And once that is approved internally, we'll then submit it to Marvel. And then we'll have some back and forth and see like, hey, does the color work? Is it matching what it is in the comics, in the movies, and the shows? And once that is approved, we go right into injections, which is like the physical product. And once we get that approved internally, then we go straight to PPS, which is pre-production before everything gets shipped.
Very cool. Do you have a favorite part of the process?
I really love the upfront design stage where you kind of get to pick around the things, really just learning how far we as creatives can push everything to be more on point and something that the fans can be really super proud of and display in their collections.
Honestly, I can't choose because I love the beginning and the end, but also at the end when we're all done reviewing, we get to see the final product and everyone see like everyone's hard work. That's something like I cherish and super cool.
When the samples come through, it's like, holy moly, this looks amazing. It's always so impressive to see how these things look in hand.
That does sound so exciting. Are there any upcoming Marvel Funko figures being released that you're particularly excited about?
Yes, there's so many, and there's 2 down the line. But one of them, I'll just say that this character is going to make a splash.
Ooh, nice. That's exciting.
And it's a Marvel Rivals related character.
Our team of creatives is made up of passionate Marvel fans in addition to gamers. And when they learned that we were going to be developing some Marvel Rivals product, like excitement through the roof. And so, yeah, there's some really, really cool product coming ahead.
If someone was interested in a job in creative development or product development in the toy industry, what advice might you offer?
To be a good developer, I think you have to be open. You have to be open to like criticism. You have to be open to knowing what works with what team and just guiding everyone together to hit those milestones so we can ship product on time.
I would say on the creative product side, it's all about a person's skill set, what they're able to bring to the team. In the hiring process, we're always looking for, what is it that we're missing? What do we need? Like, I'm really looking for uniqueness and who's going to push us and help us innovate in new areas.
Yeah, that's really cool. Thank you guys so much for coming on and chatting with us. It was so interesting.
Thank you for having us. This is great.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Victoria, I dare ask, have you by any chance done any holiday shopping yet?
So I haven't, but I have a strategy. I'm waiting for all of the last-minute Black Friday deals. But for the Marvel fan in your life, we pulled together some of our favorite products.
Oh, yes, strap in. You're welcome, listeners.
All right, let's get into it. For the person in your life who loves an advent calendar, we've got you covered.
Yes, that's right. Swing into the holiday season with the Marvel, Spidey, and His Amazing Friends Advent Calendar, a storybook library.
This action-packed advent calendar has 24 mini storybooks, one for each day in December. This festive collection delivers superhero excitement and heartwarming teamwork with every page.
Oh, I love teamwork. That's what brings everyone together. I want one.
And I love the fact that it's 24 different storybooks, because if you have kids, you know that you are reading the same ones over and over again. So this way, you get a different story every day.
Pro tip.
And what about those video game fans in your family? You need Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
Ooh, yes, you do. Listen, this is a nostalgic beat-em-up game and a throwback to the 90s Marvel era with 15 superheroes to choose from. And I love this 4-player multiplayer co-op. The game is going to be available December 1st for Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, but you can try the demo right now on Steam for PC today, you lucky Steamers, you.
And if you're interested in hearing more about the behind the scenes of the game, you can check out our interview with Marvel Cosmic Invasion creative director Frederick Gemmes from our November 5th episode.
Well, calling all LEGO lovers, you can add the iconic Marvel logo, the LEGO edition, and other classic minifigures to your collection. You can assemble your team of Avengers and build this high-quality collectible display set. And this buildable Marvel logo comes with an iconic cast of minifigures, including Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, Black Widow, and Captain America.
Okay, I need all of these because I have my own custom minifig that looks like me, and I would love to feel like I was also one of the Avengers.
All right, Victoria, let's focus. Let's put a pin in that later. I do want to hear about this.
You're right. You're so right. I can shop later. Fellow Funko Pop enthusiasts, the Holiday X-Men collection features seasonal pop figures, including Jean Grey, Storm, and Rogue.
Yeah, that was a perfectly timed suggestion considering we just heard you talking with Gary Ham and Hung Chu from Funko. Wonderful interview, by the way. This next item, though, is supposedly for kids, but you know what? I also love bubbles.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, so please add this to my stocking, Victoria. It is the Marvel Spidey and His Amazing Friends Water Webs Ahoy Bubble Pirate Ship. That's fun to say.
Kids, and also Langston, can imagine a pirate adventure with an interactive playset that includes Spidey and Green Goblin action figures with a real bubble maker, bubble capture pit, spinning mast, and a crow's nest with a retractable plank and more.
Ooh, and hey, how about the Marvel sports fan in your life? Well, gear up with the new Marvel and NFL chalk line apparel collection. This collection includes hoodies and shorts, and each pairs a select NFL team with a specific Marvel character.
For example, the Carolina Panthers have a Black Panther image, the Vikings have Thor, and they are just perfect pairings.
Oh, yeah, they don't stop there. Like the Eagles have the Hulk, and get this, my hometown New York Giants have Thanos. Exquisite. So sports fans, I'm sure you have plenty of opinions already on these pairings.
Okay, up next for the Spider-Man aficionado in your life, I'm talking about Langston. You can suit up with the all-new Macy's collection inspired by Marvel's Spider-Man and the NBA.
I do identify as an aficionado. Yes, this colorful 27-piece collection recently came out and includes adult and kids apparel, including like sleek zip-ups and comfy pullover hoodies with Spider-Man's iconic mask, prominently featured jerseys and jackets, etc. There's a sick red and white sweatshirt that says Thwip on the back that I believe has my name on it.
Of course, I'm definitely going to add that to your wish list, so I know. Also featured in this collection are accessories, including a white and blue baseball cap with Spider-Man swinging across the front, bold blue water bottles, stylish backpacks, a white duffel bag with a snappy red handle, and home decor, including pillows and a color-changing LED Spider-Man wall sign.
How about this? If you get me a Spider-Man hoodie, I'll get you the color-changing wall sign.
Deal.
All right, good business. Well, it's clobbering time. Get ready to smash into action with the Thing FX clobbering fists from our good friends at Hasbro. Punch the air or hit a hard surface to activate smashing sounds, and for even more clobbering fun, punch repeatedly to unleash ramped up sound effects.
And from our legal team, we do not advise clobbering near any family heirlooms. Finally, we've got the perfect gift for Spider-Man and Magic the Gathering devotees.
Yes. The Magic the Gathering Spider-Man set is now available, bringing your favorite Spider-Man characters, villains, and more from across the Spider-Man universe to the game table. So we learned all about this set from the Magic the Gathering team back on our August 6th episode, if you want to listen to that. And I cannot believe how much went into this set.
Also now available, the Magic the Gathering Marvel Spider-Man gift bundle is the perfect present for fans of Magic and Marvel alike. Langston, I think I'm all set on my shopping list.
I do too. Now, I will say again, I would not mind if I got my Spider-Man hoodie before Christmas, just saying.
Well, it is getting colder, so I will definitely take that into consideration.
Thanksgiving is fast approaching, which has us thinking about a particularly memorable found family gathering. 2016's Spider-Gwen, issue number 14, takes place in the alternate Earth 65. George Stacy is in prison, and Peter Parker's death looms over everything. Naturally, Gwen isn't in a very festive mood. Seemingly out of nowhere, Jessica Drew shows up from a parallel dimension with her family in tow and a ton of fast food burgers. After Gwen and Jessica have a heart-to-heart, Jessica's partner, Roger, insists that someone should say what they're all thankful for. Gwen decides she's up to the task. Though it has been a tough time, she realizes what's really important, delivering a sentiment that we can all hopefully agree on. Focusing on what you could lose or what you've lost, that's not living. Living is making the most of your time with the good people who come into your life and being thankful for what you've been given.
The official Marvel podcast will be back in 2 weeks on December 3rd. We'll take a special look back at Marvel Studios, the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, and hear from the cast, including Dave Bautista, Palm Clémentieff, and Chris Pratt.
We're all sitting around doing the Christmas special. We're like, this is actually the thing that everyone's going to know us for, isn't it? It's probably going to be played every year for the rest of our lives. I'm like, oh my God. Well, who knew?
That is it for this episode. If you haven't already, make sure to leave us a review wherever you are listening. It helps other Marvel fans find the show.
Yes, and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode.
This episode was hosted by Victoria Ying and myself, Langston Belton.
Our producers are Jasmine Estrada and Anita Flores.
With help from Senior Manager of Audio Production and Development Brad Barton and Production Manager Emily Godfrey.
Mixed by Emma Munger.
Theme music by Ida Akbal.
Executive produced by Larissa Rosen.
Thank y'all so much for listening, and we will see you next time.